Welcome to the debut episode
of the Warzone Amateur Hour Podcast.
Okay.
Dude, that intro song is really bad. It's really, really bad. We're going to have to fix that moving forward, just letting you know.
Well, we're in. Way to greet our viewers.
Do you like it? You actually like it?
I was going to get to the intro song after, maybe I said a fucking word or two, but sure, I guess we can spitball that now. I made that in about 10 minutes here in GarageBand, just so I could give us a little bit of a springboard, a little bit of energy to jump into our debut first ever Warzone Amateur Hour podcast. And that's what I got. So yeah, what do you think about it?
I think it was terrible, man. But we don't need to get into that right now. We'll work on a new podcast because you're the intern and that's what you do. I'm the host of the show. My name is Dustin.
No, Jesus Christ. You're the 10-inch cowboy. So let's back it up there.
Oh, are we not going with names? Okay. All right, so clearly we're still working all this out, but yeah, okay. So my what do you, I don't even know what you call it. Is it your gamer tag? Is it your hashtag? Is it my gamer name?
Your handle?
Your handle. Okay. My Warzone handle is the 10-inch Cowboy. For many reasons.
All right. Welcome everyone here. We're here. This is the Warzone Amateur Hour Podcast. First of its kind, first of its ilk, first episode. So thanks so much to all the viewers or listeners out there who are taking part in this monumental moment. I'm sure we will look back on this podcast years from now after we've built a media empire and really reflect on these humble beginnings. But yes, welcome here. This is a podcast dedicated to all things Call of Duty Warzone, except unlike what you've probably heard or seen out there, this time we're bringing it to you from the perspective of two regular-ass dudes.
Yeah, we're just regular-ass dudes. I suck. I personally am terrible at Warzone. I average, maybe 0 to 2 kills a game at best. Yesterday I had my best game of my life where I had 6 kills. But typically I die without kills. I only started playing video games really like 9 months ago. I'm not a big gamer guy. I didn't play when I was growing up. Never played Halo. No, I just don't have that background. But since quarantine started and I've been stuck inside, losing my mind, I had an old PS4. Some old homies were playing Warzone, so I figured I would give it a try. And it's fun. I have a great time doing it. There's a lot of frustration because I'm so bad, and most of the days that I play Warzone, I leave thinking I fucking hate this game. I'm never going to play again. There's too many good people out there. I suck. But for some reason, I always come back. And I think that for me, this podcast will just talking about it and thinking about it and maybe learning a little strategy along the way. May help me become a better player. Not that I really care to become a better player, frankly, but I think it would be funner when I invest my time in playing the game if I knew more about it. So that's where I'm coming from. And, I watch these pros online. We have like a Warzone chat amongst like 10 of our friends that play. And they're always sending clips of all of these pros and all these like crazy like video like blogs. I don't know what you would call it. Streams. Yeah. So streamers, whatever. They're streaming these games where these guys are getting like 25 kills. That's a world I know nothing about. I don't fucking know how to do that. Like they move faster than me. Like I don't know how that works. So this is more from the perspective of the little guy, David side of things. Like Goliath can have his, streams and shit like that. This podcast is for the Davids, baby.
All right. Well, there you go. That tees us up. That's the co-host here. Loyal, well-spoken, not so skilled player himself, the 10-inch Cowboy. Here at my side, you can expect to hear him every week alongside myself, Tron here, or Tron 8 for those who want to get busy online. I've been, unlike my co-host here, 10-inch Cowboy, I've been a pretty avid gamer since childhood. And in fact, my first foray into COD or Call of Duty, it was way back during the original Modern Warfare, circa 2006, 2007. I really got deep into that game. My favorite thing, I'd take like massive bong loads and then I would just blast the fucking Metallica Master of Puppets album like at incredibly high volumes and then just fucking noob tube motherfuckers on that shit. Incredible experience. Recommend it for anybody out there who has I don't know the capacities for it. But that's who I am. That's who my co-host is. In terms of what this show is, the Cowboy touched on it quite a bit. If you're out there, you stumbled across this podcast somehow. First off, God bless you. Thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you.
But if you're out there and you were looking for like the cutting edge source of breaking news, you want the in-depth analysis about all the new strategies, the new blueprints, and you want to keep tabs on what these big streamers are doing, this is not the podcast for you. You've come to the wrong place.
Get the fuck out of here. Get out.
On the flip side, if you're like an average Joe, you work 40 hours a week, you're getting bitched at by your spouse for playing the game too much, but you still love it. You still come back to it even after getting your ass kicked. And you're looking for like a community that's a bit less hardcore than the 90% of the shit you're seeing out there. Then welcome, baby. We're the men for you. We're the family for you here. We're here for honest, open discussion about Warzone. Share your unfiltered thoughts. We're always open for calls. And so you can come to expect that from us week in and week out. And above all else, we're going to bring you some good-ass motherfucking production value.
Oh, we have the highest production value. It's incredible. So you can, feel good knowing that this podcast is going to sound good. But another thing, too, like retouching on that point is that I feel like myself, a lot of people got involved with Call of Duty, obviously, during the pandemic this year, being stuck at home, having nothing to do, being stuck with your significant other, trying to get away mentally, physically, just escaping in some way. So, if you're going to quit playing COD, when the quarantine's over and the pandemic's passed and everyone's happy again, that's cool too. Like, and that's probably what I'm going to do, to be honest, unless something exciting.
Christ. We're talking about building a media empire. Now you're already saying, yeah, I'll probably fucking walk away,
I mean, I say that, but dude, I say that every time I play COD because it always is so frustrating for me. Like, I aim at people and I swear I hit them before they hit me, but I die every time. So I don't know. I'm just projecting here. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna play. It's never going away. But just like there's people out there like me. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
So what are we going to talk about here? Like, maybe we should break down what it is. I know we've explained our perspective and where we come from and who this is for, but what are we actually doing here? Like, what are we going to talk about?
Well, we decided to launch this podcast because everyone loves that plays Warzone. Maybe not everyone, but most of us. It's enjoyable to seek out that Warzone related content, to chat about it, to hear a little bit of fucking perspective from other people that are doing it, build that camaraderie. But what I've found personally, I go online, I see these streamers, 90% of them, they're all trying to do the same thing. You go on Google Warzone loadout on YouTube, and you got 50 guys that are like, dude, this is the new OP, man. It melts. And they're like, trying to act like they're the next fucking ninja guy who's going to sign like a deal with Nike. And it's like, that's never going to be me. I'm never going to relate to that. I don't even know what half of the words they're saying. So this is a space for the fucking amateurs, dude.
Yeah. I was watching, we were talking in our little Warzone chat, and some of our friends that are good watch, obviously the professionals. And there's this guy Iron out there, Irons, watched one of his videos, and he was talking about how he's like, yeah, I play 80 hours a week.
Holy shit.
And it's like what he does. He's really good. I mean, he's phenomenal. And he's like, I play 80 hours a week. And he's like, when little Timmy gets on and he's, getting in his couple hours on a Saturday each week, he's like, I don't mean to sound rude, but like, it's not even a fucking ball game. Like, he shouldn't be in the same map as me because it's just completely unfair. I'm fucking Timmy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're little Timmy. I get you.
We're a couple of Timmys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure Irons has just fucked me in the Verdansk. I'm sure.
I mean, but that said, this isn't some fucking waste of time here. We're going to provide some sort of insights, tips, new discoveries, which I guess maybe, some people out there have discovered before, but we're always seeking out ways to get better. We'll put in the time, not 80 hours a week, but we're on pretty regularly. We're in the zone, man, getting dubs here and there. We're not just total fuck ups. We do have some victories here. We can hold our own in a firefight or two.
Sometimes, yeah. But a perfect example of what I feel like we could, impart wisdom on people that, the casual Warzone player is like, it was a couple of months ago, I leveled up my Growl, right? Everyone was telling me the Growl's the best gun, the Growl's the best gun. I got the Growl, leveled it up, set it up. It worked phenomenally. It was great. And then, I've just kind of stuck with it because I don't follow anything. I don't follow the updates. I don't know anything that changes, from a week-to-week basis with the game, except that zombies have been introduced. But aside from that, it's like, I didn't realize that they had, dumbed down the Growl. And the Growl wasn't shooting the way that it used to. It wasn't as effective, or I don't even know the terms for that.
The term is nerfing. When they make a gun or something weaker in the gaming community, that is referred to as a nerf. Conversely, if you happen to make something stronger, that is referred to as a buff.
Okay, so they nerfed the Growl, right?
Correct.
I've still been using it.
That was like 5 months ago, but yeah, that's correct.
I had no idea. So to me, the reason I'm doing this podcast is so I can stay up to date and understand what the hell is happening in Warzone, because it always is changing. And if you don't have somebody telling you what's up, you're going to die all the time and you're going to want to stop playing, which is where I basically live in that, circle of hell in a way.
Yeah, and I mean, you really, I think, just provided the insight. That's what we're here for. We're here to fucking help you, bring you the big information that we discover. Again, might not be the timeliest, but we'll mention it. And as you said, things are always changing in Warzone. We got weekly updates, midweek patches, new seasons coming and going. And speaking of which, the date of this first recording is December 4th, 2020. We have a brand new big old shebanger revamp coming to Warzone. So perfect time for us to launch this podcast, as it's going to be integrating with the new Call of Duty game, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And we'll be here for you, man. If you missed out on reading the fucking 8-page thesis that the guy puts out about all the changes, we'll give you the gist of it. We'll tell you what our thoughts are. Probably not going to give you the best advice, but we'll dive into that next week. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be pumping this baby out once a week. Get the viewership growing. We're always looking for callers. We're looking for comments. We're looking for conversations. But yeah, as you teed up, this Call of Duty Warzone thing, which they debuted, I guess, nearly 8 months ago, something like that, 9 months. It's become a goddamn phenomenon.
Wait a second. Is this okay? Sorry. So I'm the dumb guy in this relationship that I genuinely don't know that much about this world. Did it really come out 8 months ago? Like when COVID hit? Is that when they? Or was it just serendipitously came out at the same time? Like, how does that coincide? Like, can you break it down for me? Are you a numbers guy? Do you know when?
Oh, I'll be the numbers guy. And according to a quick Google search, I found that Call of Duty Warzone launched on March 10th, 2020.
Wow.
I don't think we had any sort of like umbrella corporation type conspiracy thing where, somehow they coordinated with the fucking lab in Wuhan to create coronavirus to help,
Listen, that's not what this podcast is about.
Oh.
Let's not even go down that fucking rabbit hole.
Okay. But yeah, serendipitously coincided with, states across the country locking down, nations across the world doing the same. And what happened? What kind of miracle bestowed upon us gamers here looking for an escape? We go through the little fucking app store, and at least for me, I find there's this fucking new Call of Duty game, Warzone, and it's free. And I'm like, what? And then I check it out and I'm like, hey, this is actually pretty fucking fun.
Well, we were playing, so full disclosure to the audience here. Tron and I lived together. It's 2 years now, 2 years ago. And there was another game, was the first video game that I actually had sat down and tried playing, and it was called H1Z1. And it was how would you describe it? You know the terms.
It's a free to play battle royale.
The battle royale, that's it. There it is.
Not as big as PUBG, public what is it, underground or whatever the fuck it is. I only heard it called PUBG. Not nearly as big as Fortnite. It was a very low budget one, but we had a great time. That was our first foray into battle royale games. Also was free to play. We put in a lot of hours on that, and yeah, that's how you really got your feet wet. That's how you kind of got up to speed. And from there, that thirst, I guess, was first kind of, stoked, and I was hungry for more. And Warzone's like a whole fucking different universe compared to H1Z1.
And that's what I like. Well, so I really liked H1Z1 because it was kind of, you just drop in on the map, you're fucking wheeling and dealing, you're killing people, you're finding shit, you're looting, which I always loved to loot because I was always a really terrible shot, still am. But so I liked H1Z1 for that. Warzone comes out, and Tron, you explained it to me as a much more complicated, harder but more rewarding, fun game. But it's the same style as H1Z1, and that scared me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like complicated things. I'm a simple person. I like to get my gun. I like to shoot somebody. It's like car goes forward, car goes backward, left, right. I'm good to play the game. But I ended up playing it. Obviously stuck in quarantine. It was a fucking nightmare. It was fantastic. And it's kind of changed the way that I view myself, actually, not to get too introspective, but
so yes, Warzone debuted way back in March. Since then has become a phenomenon, taking the gaming world by storm. As of August 4th, 2020, I saw that Warzone had 75 million total players in whole. I think a big part of that, which I guess for me was really the big allure, was this crossplay feature where maybe for the younger generations, it doesn't seem that big of a deal. But for folks like us here, when you chose a system, you were choosing an allegiance for the lifetime of that system. Like if your buddy chose Xbox and you chose PlayStation, you were like, you know what? Fuck you. We're not going to be playing together for the next few years.
That friendship was over instantly. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of gaming. And then comes along Warzone, and they do this crossplay shit. And I got old buddies from back in the day that I haven't seen on my friends list since I was fucking popping pimples in high school. And now they're in my party, and we're able to play together. That was the game changer for me.
Wait, so was Warzone the first kind of game that did that, or that was not a thing before?
Crossplay exists on other games. I think in terms of battle royales, I'm not sure if Fortnite allows it. Again, don't come to this podcast looking for all the fucking answers, because we certainly don't have them. But yeah, I know Warzone seemed to be the big one. It was the first Call of Duty game to basically offer crossplay. And so now we have PC, Xbox, PlayStation, all getting together, all getting back in the saddle. The boys are fucking back in town, is how I felt.
Yes. Totally. Wow. I didn't realize that. That's really cool. And just for all the real dum-dums like myself out there, obviously PlayStation, obviously Xbox, and then obviously PC, is it?
Yeah, personal computer.
Yeah, so there's three there. Those are the main ballers.
Those are it.
That's it. Boom, boom, boom.
You either play on an Xbox, a PlayStation, or a Windows computer. I feel like, though, I guess we can really, this will be our first topic to really dive into, is it's a blessing, obviously, because it opens the player base, which is certainly imperative for a game like this to have success. It needs a massive player base to fill these lobbies. But at the same time, you're creating kind of a big window in terms of, who's playing with what kind of equipment. Like, we got these fucking guys out here that have like a $5,000 PC. Like, they'll be talking about chips and processors and shit. It sounds like a foreign language. Meanwhile, me and the cowboy over here, we got the stock PS4s back from, I guess, 7-8 years ago, whenever those released. So It's an interesting thing, which I guess is good for us because we can like use that as an excuse.
And I'm sure we'll talk about this more, yeah, but I always get my fucking titties lit up by people playing with their PCs. Like, they are so much better, and it must be that fucking point and click thing that they got going on, because I can't shoot people very well. Like, it's really hard for me to shoot people that are moving, and when I'm moving, it's like, it's, I've watched it. There's a friend of ours. Are we using our friends' names in this thing, or are we...
We're gamer tags
only, so... I don't actually know what his gamer tag is. I believe it's Chine, right?
CH1NE.
Chine's got the point and click on the PC, and he's really good at the game. Like, he's...
It's called a keyboard and mouse, not a fucking point and click.
Whatever. Everyone knows what I'm saying, baby. And it is a game changer. And I think at this point I'm going to keep my allegiance with PlayStation, but I know that in the end is ultimately a handicap, right?
Well, at this point, I mean, even in terms of consoles, we're now a generation behind. We got these fucking people out there with the PS5s, the Xbox Series 1Xs. And then, yeah, like I said, they're releasing these new video cards and shit. So
what does the video card actually do? I don't understand. Like, what does it just make it more pixelated, clearer, better? Like, I think
you get, smoother frames per second, more stable. Your supports higher resolutions. Again, don't have a lot of these answers, but maybe we'll get someone on the show next week that does.
Okay. What else do we have to talk about?
I mean, I think I have a few questions prepared, and the first one is to you, Cowboy, and I'm going to ask all of our guests who we have on here over the years, because this will be going on for years. I know it. I'm here to ask you, why do you play Warzone?
I find myself asking myself that all the time, because so many times I am throwing the controller, I'm twisting it between my hands because I'm so frustrated. I'm screaming into my microphone because I get killed prematurely. It's funny. It's like fishing, man. Like my dad's a professional fisherman. It's what he does for a living. I've been fishing my whole life. Saltwater fishing, none of that freshwater shit. But, you go fishing and it's so much time and it's so much effort. But when you actually get one, it's a really beautiful thing. And it's like this sick addiction where, like, you're chasing this short-lived high, which I guess comparably to Warzone would be the win, And I have only been on like 4 winning teams or something like that. In the 6 months that I've been playing Warzone, I've only won like 4 times. We have friends that we play with regularly that have over 100 wins, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I have 4 wins, I don't play as much as some of our friends, but I'm definitely not as good as some of my other friends. But why do I play? It's because I'm a sick fucking addict that is living for the high of the win. Because I got a fucking win yesterday, my first win in a long time, where for the first time, it was the best game I ever played. For the first time, I got the final kill on the map, final 2 kills technically, final kill on the map. I had 6 kills total, and for me, for the TenInch Cowboy, that was the best game I've ever had. And the feeling I got after the game, whoo! I mean, like, you just don't get that in regular life. It's hard to explain. Like, I mean, as a kid, you compete in sports, you're doing shit. You're always like, you strike someone out, you hit a home run, you score a touchdown. Like, as an adult, as like a slightly overweight working from home adult, like, I just don't get those victories anymore. You know what I mean? And like, I actually got one. I felt that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, it sounds to me like what we got here is a modern day, old man in the sea. You're getting out in that fucking rickety ass dinghy. You're going out to the lake and you're going to reel in the big one. And the thing is, even when you do get it, what happens? You fucking let it back in the lake and you get back out there the next morning to try and find him again. Because we're always chasing that addiction. It's like a bunch of heroin junkies here chasing that high. I'm with you, to piggyback off that. That's why I play, is the chasing the win. But I think more so than that, it's the camaraderie, man. It's with your boys. You're fucking hunkered down in an area. You got dudes closing in. You're telling your buddies, you're like, fucking this and that. Get him, motherfucker. And they're like, oh, good job, dude. And then I'm like, hey, man, thanks. And
then it must be nice to get kudos from your friends. I'm usually on the side of like, where the fuck were you?
What the fuck were you doing, cowboy?
Yeah, exactly. That's my wheelhouse, you could say.
Yeah, but and then in playing off of that, you get to share that pride of my biggest competitive, I get not even really competitive, but my most passionate time as a gamer spans all the way back to Halo 2. That was like a watershed thing. I was a big Halo player, the original. I would do the fucking LAN parties with my buddies, many of which are now still playing the Warzone. And then Halo 2 was like it was the first Halo that went online. And that just was a massive thing. It became this thing where we like had our little clan at my high school, and we would fucking run into other people at the high school who had their own clans, and we would beat the shit out of them in Halo. Like that was a point of pride. And now as the years went on, people played different games. Like we talked about the crossplay thing. I lost connection with those people in terms of video game playing. I never played with them. But then the Warzone comes out. Not to, tout my own shit here, I was like the first among our group to really get into Warzone. I am the founder of the fucking current clan we're in.
Really?
It was pretty amazing to like get back there, to make that old clan, the same one we had from Halo 2, and then to see our boys come one by one, file in. Now when I go check my friends list, it's like the old days, dude. I'll see sometimes 4 or 5 of my buddies on there. And that's a fucking beautiful thing. So I'm going to keep holding on to this, even though I get slapped around. Sometimes I even get yelled at by people who, purport to be my friends and shit. Probably talk a lot of shit behind my back. I know some of them do.
I can confirm that 100%.
But I'm going to keep back. I'm going to keep coming. I'm going to try. I'm going to record this podcast. I'm going to have some fun.
I didn't realize you started our Warzone chat. That was a sick drop. And you think you're fucking better than me?
Well, yeah. But let's dial it back here. That was really the last thing I think for us to review is, pretty perfect timing recording this podcast, first one today, because last night, speaking about the pride of playing with your friends, I was there for it firsthand. I saw the 10-inch Cowboy with his first clutch, which, again, in gaming terminology is where you're by yourself, you're the last on your team, and you end up pulling out a win at the end of the game, which is exactly what you did. We got in that final circle. We were in a quads game. One of our teammates was a friend of yours who had just had his first kill in Warzone, period, like the game prior. So he was fucking out of it early. We were basically like a trio. Then, we're moving into that final circle. I think it was like 3-on-3 or something. And then I get downed. The other guy gets downed. You're the last one left.
I actually got downed as well. I happened to have a self-revive, which was a lucky purchase that I picked up so we all, flash back a little bit. We end up by the bunker. And then that's where this final circle kind of takes place. I happened to get a self-revive. Long story short, I picked up that self-revive. Fast forward back to the future there, and I'm the last one left, but I'm downed. We think it's over. I got the self-revive. I'm behind a tree. I come up, super tight little circle. I pop up, miraculously kill one of the guys that was fully injured by my 2 guys that were down and killed. And then there was one guy left that I knew exactly where he fucking was. He was behind this rock, and I just zoomed in with my M13, fucking had him right there. He comes around the rock, and I fucking wasted him, and it was the best moment of my life.
That's right. And I'm not sure if you remember, but my last dying words to you were, "You've got this. You've got this."
You did say that, and it was a rare vote of confidence in my Call of Duty skills. Not just from you, but from anyone that I've played with. It meant a lot, man.
Okay, well, more importantly, what I did is I live pinged the fucking last guy for you in my dying moments. So I guess you got to kind of give me a little bit of credit for that, right?
No, it was. I mean, come on, it was a team effort. Are you kidding me? I mean, it happened to be my first time ending the Warzone. Ending the match, which, it's all about me, baby. Come on, that's what this is all about.
Well, I recorded it from my perspective. Perhaps down the line, if we get this podcast to some sort of visual medium, maybe we'll be sharing those. I'm going to need to teach you how to record your gameplay. You still haven't quite learned how to do that.
Have not,
but,
no.
You know, baby steps, baby steps.
Baby steps, baby steps.
But yeah, speaking of, brought me to a new topic here, which I think is an incredibly underrated, maybe not underrated, but incredibly awesome aspect of Warzone is the communication tools they provide you. Like the ability to set the markers and then set like the live pings and shit. That is cool as fuck. And I think that that's part of the reason this game is such a success for large teams is because they give you the tools you need, kind of like Enterprise Rent-A-Car or whatever, to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, again, from the novice perspective, you can go as deep as you want. Like, if you want to be a Navy SEAL fucker and, like, you know, you can do that. If you want to camp, you can do that. I mean, it's all over the place. The depth of the game is incredible, you know? And that's why the more time you spend playing it, you really get better at it. It's like there's no limit to how good you can get. It's not like there's no end point. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, for me, I think there's a limit. I just, you know, I ain't got no big smarts in my brain, so.
Yeah, but if you were playing 80 hours a week, it'd be different. You would grow. You would definitely grow.
I'd like to think so. But yeah, I like these tools because they allow someone, you know, if I had to classify myself, I'm a team player. I'm focused on helping the team out however I can. And a lot of instances, that might not be killing. So what do I do instead? I'm a fucking marker, dude. I'm always marking. I'm always communicating on the horn, you know, like dudes are here, fucking this and that, because I found personally when I'm on a team and we're doing that, those are usually when my wins come. I don't have, you know, the hand-eye coordination, the reaction times to like run and gun like some of these motherfuckers. Like I need some help.
Yeah, I feel like there's two types, especially even within our friend group that plays together consistently. And I'm sure this applies to everybody out there. There's like two types of people. When you see someone you pop a UAV and you see who's on the map, there's people that are like, let's go fucking kill those guys. Or there's people that are like, all right, there's people over there, let's go the other way. You know what I mean? Like some people have that confidence and some people rightfully don't.
Yeah. And that's an excellent, you know, way to distinguish in terms of basic play types. Is there's the survivalist types that are playing for the win, and there's the high kill types that are just trying to get that KD up, trying to get those elite, you know, moves and all that shit, get the moments on their streams, make the Reddit front page. So that's interesting. I think in a future episode, that could be something we dive into is, you know, really classifying like people based on player types. Like, you know, got you who are like the coward.
Yeah. How about you describe my gameplay, please? I'd love to hear you break me down. Psychoanalyze my COD playing.
Okay, you are I don't know any much about the military shit, but you're like the private. Like you're fucking new to the regimen. You don't want to make decisions. You want the chain of command. You want the fucking sergeant to hand you a shovel and say, I want you to fucking dig this ditch. And you're going to fucking dig the shit out of the ditch, which is like to your credit. You know, you give you a fucking job. You're going to do that job with pride and you're going to execute it. Like I've been on games with you where we're like holding down a building or something. You're like, I'm going to fucking watch this stairwell. And I can trust that whatever else I'm doing, that stairwell is going to be watched.
Thanks. That means a lot. Wow. I mean, I might die. I'm probably going to die watching that stairwell, but I'm going to watch it till I die.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's flip it over now. What about me?
So I think, oh man, you did such a good job, and I feel like I'm going to do such a poor job. That was a great analogy. Like, you're right. I'm like a private. You're more like shit. So I think I'll start with your terrible shot. So I would not put you in the category of like assassin or killer or someone that's, you know, contributing in that level. But you are good at like the tactical, like, okay, well, there's this here, there's that there. Like you're like a strategist. You're like the chess player in the group.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, that's a compliment. You got the mind, baby. You're there.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess we could revisit that a bit later. Not the highest praise there. I did hear you criticizing my shot the other day, but as you said yourself, you're no fucking marksman over here, dude. You're no Doc Holliday.
I've never considered myself a Doc Holliday at all, but I will be your Huckleberry, baby.
All right. Well, with that said, I think, we're pretty deep here. I had a little agenda. We got through most of it. I'm feeling the energy here. I'm just ready to hop on the sticks right now and get some games in, get my ass kicked a little bit.
You know what? That's another part of this that I'm just realizing after we've gone now through this discussion is we're trying to work our way through the murky abyss that is a podcast about Warzone. You know what? I think at the end of the day, this is hopefully motivating and exciting for you to go fucking rip some ass on Warzone. You know what I mean? Let's go play, baby.
Yeah, and our users, maybe once we get a listener or two that's not an actual friend of ours, connect with us. We'll play with you. We'll show you how terrible you are. You can maybe teach us some shit.
Yeah, tell me what to do, baby. I'll be your fucking daddy.
All right, well, this is the debut, once again, episode of the Warzone Amateur Hour Podcast. I am Tron. I'm here with my co-host, the 10-inch Cowboy. We're going to be signing off, but you can expect to hear from us once a week as we continue on through this uncertainty of life. The only thing that you can count on is that you can hit that motherfucking play again and drop back into the war zone.
Nice.
All right. Well, signing off. Everyone stay safe out there. Keep grinding. Get those points in because Season 6 is closing soon.
All right, later.